Hey guys, Footy Manager TV here, and welcome back to another episode of the best young players in the future. Today I'm going to be focusing on goalkeepers. This should be a shorter episode, so hopefully you do enjoy it. Goalkeepers, for me, I'm doing this video, at least the goalkeepers part. For this position, I would imagine people will be looking for a younger type, for an aging goalkeeper, maybe 28 plus. And yeah, you don't want to spend so much money on someone cheaper. So you can spend more on outfield players, because I know I'm the same. I don't want to really spend big on a keeper. That's why I really like to be a team that has a young, solid keeper. Like, you know, my Manchester United series. This is actually another one. I'm not in 2018, if you were wondering. But, yeah, this was purposeful simming. But having David De Gea, he's perfect because he's young and good and he can play for 10 years. And by then you'll have a regen coming through anyway, so it's all good. Yeah, most of these guys I'll definitely show you, but then I'll go down to more cheaper options. First off, you know, Ter Stegen. He's always going to be a good keeper in the game, but he is going to be expensive. Well, he's not expensive like you would imagine, like 20 million and above, but 9.5 million. I think that's a decent amount. Like, I don't know what kind of team. I'm trying to think right now who has an aging goalkeeper and he'll be good to replace. I'm not really sure. But if you have one of those teams, if you're a bigger type of team and you have over 20 million balance and yeah, you can get him under 10 million and then you can spend other money on other players. Yeah, he's definitely an option for a bigger team. Now you know about him. He's not really a young player. Thibaut Courtois, he's a very interesting situation, but no doubt when he comes back on loan to Chelsea from Atletico, he starts for Chelsea, then Petr Cech goes down in the pecking order. They'll probably sell him or just keep him as backup, so it will be hard to pick him up. But who knows, if you try and make a move for him in the first season while he's on loan, try and make a bid, I'm not sure what will happen with that. You just have to try and see. David De Gea, I just want to see him for my Manchester United one, see how good he gets. Yep, definitely. He becomes quality. Doesn't get amazing average ratings. He had one season. What's the most clean sheet he got? 16. Yeah, that's okay, but to me, it more depends on your defense. If you have a crap defense, you're going to concede, no doubt. Joe Hart, you know about him. Raphael, this is more of a unique guy compared to the other more popular ones. You see, where does he start at? Well, yeah, they signed him. Napoli signed him from Santos, I should say, for really cheap. First season had some appearances. And takes him a few seasons to get to his really top level. But when he gets to that age, like 27, that's when goalkeepers start to play really well. And if you can get him for cheap, like Napoli did, yeah, you can get him for a good price. Now, I'm going to put the age limits because I don't want anyone over, let's say, 27. And then you should shorten some. Okay, at most, 27. There you go. Should find some other options. This guy's no doubt a regen because he's 19 and I'm in 2018. Okay, yeah, we're going to find some now. This guy, Castells, where does this guy start at? He starts at Hoffenheim, then a couple seasons in, Dortmund signed him on a free transfer because he didn't really break through at Hoffenheim. He might be backup, so you could do the same thing. Keep on your tabs. You can sign him a couple seasons in for free, and he looks like a decent keeper right now. Is he just backup, I would imagine? Or his first team? Okay. So I thought that would have a better case. He doesn't look that amazing in my opinion. Like, when I look... Oh, no, I suppose he's okay. He's very good in the air, like aerially. Just looking at his other attributes, yeah. Yeah, he'll be a good first-team keeper for a top 4 European team. But if you're, even lower than that, if you can get him, no doubt he'll be good for you. Okay, who's next up? Timo Horn from Leverkusen. Okay, this guy this is still young for a keeper, keep in mind. Like, in the game, keepers still can increase until like 26, 27, because that's still young for a keeper. They have different growing... The way they grow is different to outfield players, so keep that in mind. And you can sign him for really cheap. This is one guy I would recommend, actually. You see Freiburg, they signed him for pretty cheap. Then Leverkusen went on to sign him, so he'll be one I would recommend for like that mid-table, possibly. Still only 24, so as I said, he can probably increase more. So he could be one to look out for. Next up, Geronimo Ruler, the Argentinian international player. He becomes the first choice for Argentina, and his reflexes are really, really good, 19. I always look at reflexes. Physically, he's amazing as well. Natural fitness is really good, and he's really quick. I like quick goalkeepers to come off their line. Yeah, and just all around, it just matters for different aspects, the pace, and that's really quick for a keeper. That's actually one of the quickest I've seen. 15 pace, 16 agility, and 15 acceleration, and he's strong as well. His determination is good. Positioning 15, that's pretty solid. Anticipation. This guy's actually one of the better keepers. I have to remember him for any other saves. This guy's actually really good. I would actually recommend him. You see, Manchester City waited till this long, so you can still get him cheap after that long. So you got to keep this guy in mind, Geronimo Ruler. You can get him for really cheap, and he's a super goalkeeper. I actually really like his attributes. He's someone I'm going to keep on my radar, no doubts. Next up, Jeroen Zoets, the Dutch player. He's not really first choice. He's kind of average. That's why he's in the Portuguese league. You see, they're not really that high level, but he's very good in these attributes here. And aerial ability is 16, and command of area and communication. To me, I think some people underrate these attributes, and I actually think that communication is actually really important for your goalkeeper to communicate with your central defenders, and then you would be less prone to making errors in defense, I would imagine. So that's very important. Mentally, he's very strong as well. You see, he's a bit slower, but mentally, work rate's good. But I don't know if that's good. Like, it's important for a keeper. He's a good leader. Could be a captain. Determination, I would imagine. Like, if you're conceded a goal, he's still determined to make saves, even though your team is behind. And he looks like a decent prospect. And you see, Porto signed him from PSV after quite a few seasons where he performed at a solid level. Like, he got some good average ratings. So you probably can get him before that for a bit cheaper, I would imagine. So yeah, keep him on your radar. Next up, this guy will be a regen, but I'll just double check. Yeah, he's a regen. Davison Cesar. He played a lot of... Yeah, you don't need to worry about him. He won't be in your game anyway. So just go down a bit here. Bernd Leno, he's someone you would know more about. But he's currently at Norwich. That's a weird move. Norwich has actually signed some beast players. They end up getting Dongu. I would imagine they're doing decently in the league. Well, I'll just show you here. After a few seasons, they signed him on a free transfer. That's a pretty good free transfer if you ask me. Let's see Premier League right now. Norwich, yeah, they've got... I just want to check him out. And this... After I finish doing all these positions, leave in your comments what else you want to see. Do you want me to show you national teams? Do you want me to show you teams specifically to see where they are? I only do Premier League because I think I only have Premier League leagues loaded. I'm not sure. But I could easily just do in the settings to add all leagues. Can't I do that somewhere? If you see here, where can I go? I can add or remove leagues. Oh yeah, I could do that, definitely. I'm not sure if it will show them right away. I'll just have to see how it is. But I could potentially do that. Show you nations and leagues, how teams are looking and everything. If you want, if you want to see that, leave in your comments because I do want to extend this because there's a lot of interest. So yeah, let's see the highest value players they have in their team. They have John Williams. You know the guy. He's a good attacking midfielder. The guy who starts at Crystal Palace. He's a really good midfielder in the future. Just amazing player to me. Luke Shaw, they pick up Luke Shaw, Dongu as well, Abel Hernandez. They've got a decent team. Bernd Leno, they've actually got a pretty decent team. Lassina Traore, boy, this team's actually decent. Kuzmanovic, this is Mascherano as well. Wow, amazing team they have compiled, no doubt. They've done well for themselves in the Premier League. Chris Hughton's still there as well. He's doing a very good job for them. Amazing signings by him, no doubt. And yeah, Chelsea still topping at the top. So if you want me to go through Premier League teams and stuff like that, leave in your comments and I'll do this through this series. But anyway, moving on to goalkeepers. Szczesny, you kind of know about him. Like, he probably won't move from Arsenal, so he's not a big deal. I'll just show you anyway. Wojciech Szczesny, again, he's good in these attributes. He's really a solid keeper. He'll always be a solid keeper. If you want to be Arsenal, you can see. Honestly, I'm not too impressed by his average rating. So I know if he does bad for you, you might want to change, try and sell him, try and pick someone else. I showed the average ratings that were good. Next up, Nicole Leali. He's a decent keeper, 25. Could probably increase a little bit more. And he starts out on loan for a couple seasons. Well, the second season goes out on loan as well. And he does well then. That's when he starts to get a gig for Juventus into next season. And he eventually starts to step up in his average rating and become a first teamer for Juve. And just looking at attributes, yeah, he's a really good keeper. And could, as I said, being 25, he could probably increase a little bit more, as that's still young for a keeper. Next up, a guy who you probably is renowned for being cheap in Football Manager and a good prospect with good reflexes and is a strong player, Maksim Kaval. He's got, as I said, very good reflexes. That's his strong point of his game. Communication is pretty strong as well. You see, starts at Dynamo Kiev. You can actually, you can sign him really cheap, and he always performs. Every season he's played, he's been above 7 rating and quite easily above 7. His lowest rating for a season is 7.25. So yeah, that's a pretty good effort if you ask me. And yeah, his latest season, like, really good rating. Look at those 7.50s and even more. Wow. Maksim Kaval seems to be a very solid keeper at the levels he's played at. Next up, Marco Bizot, who's currently at FC Twente. Again, another Dutch international player, but he's not that great. If I'm just looking at attributes, he's not amazing, but he's playing well this season. Maybe he'll start to increase a little bit, but I wasn't impressed by what I saw there. But yeah, now we're going this low. You basically saw all the quality keepers. The rest are below 5 million, so that's not really what I wouldn't recommend that. Like this next guy, Amada, he's not really someone I would suggest. Maybe 26. He's now, it doesn't really do too amazing. He's coming in now and doing a decent job for Toulouse. Anyone else of note? Kevin Trapp. He's 27 now. He's a bit older. He's okay. Looking at attributes, he's okay keeper, I guess. If you can sign him for cheap, you see 6 million to Schalke, and he is a solid keeper for them. So, and sometimes goalkeepers can be underrated in terms of their overall value. So you got to keep that in mind. You might be able to get someone cheaper than their value indicates. So check out this guy here, Daley. Again, what's he got here? 16 reflexes, and he doesn't really impress me. I don't think. Yeah, you can get him for cheap. Like if you're a lower mid-table team, like I've got to cater for everyone, I guess. If you're a lower mid-table team or like a relegation team, or maybe in the championship if you have the funds, like I don't know. I think he'll be an okay keeper for you. Like if you desperately need a keeper and you don't have so much funds, he would be a guy you would go for. Even though I don't think he's too amazing, but for that level, he'll be solid. But even though I'm still not impressed with his attributes. Next up, Roman Berkey, who's currently at Catania. This guy, I like his attributes. I do. Like again, those top 3 attributes are very high, but his eccentricity is really high. I don't like that unless you have really good decisions, and it's only 11. That can be very bad, and you can see. Yeah, I knew it. I said it even before I showed it. I knew he would get pretty bad average rating, so I would definitely not recommend a goalkeeper of his type with high eccentricity unless he has really high decisions. Like has to be above 14 at least. But I would recommend at least 15 or 16, if not more. And if that is high, if his decisions and eccentricity is high together, they can be good. But decisions definitely has to be high, or it will make too much mistakes for your team. Is this guy not a regen? I think, yeah, he's a regen. I thought he might be. Anyone below 22 is more than likely a regen. Sergio Pat, did I show this guy? Nah, again, physically he's really poor. I doubt he'll be anything of note, yeah. But you can get him for cheap. Again, like if you're in those other European leagues, he would be okay for that level, like the Eredivisie level. He'll be okay there. And this guy, I'm not sure how to say this guy's name because he's got this weird O with a diagonal line through it, so it's a bit weird. But anyway, yeah, he's looking at his attributes, he seems like a solid keeper. Like he's got a lot of 14s and 15s, a 16 there, communication 16, positioning 15. That's pretty good. So let's check out his ratings again. Not amazing ratings, but you can get him for really cheap. Like if you're that lower Premier League again, don't have much money, he's someone you would go for. Jake Keane. I did want to get an English guy in here eventually. He's at Celtic right now, and he's a decent. See again. Eccentricity, I just saw that, and decisions 11. I would imagine he'll have bad average ratings, you can see, but a couple seasons. But don't forget, it's Celtic. They're no doubt easily the best team in that league, so you've got to keep that in mind. So he's always going to keep a decent amount of clean sheets and not concede so many goals. And now we're going to under 3 million, so these guys aren't really going to be of any quality. But this guy actually seems decent. Like I said, you can get definitely surprised. Communication, command of the area is definitely good. Reflexes, solid. Decisions 11, not amazing, but let's see how his average ratings goes. Again, nothing really amazing, if I'm honest. As he moves on to a French team, again, like nothing too amazing. Matthew Ryan, he's Australian. I just want to check him out, see how good he gets. Okay, not bad. Yeah, decent. Like he becomes the #1 Australian keeper, and probably can be good enough for a lower Premier League team. Nottingham Forest back in the Premier League, and I would imagine that's where they are. And you can see he's gone on all these different moves here on loans for 64k, then moved to the Premier League. And it's good to see him in the Premier League, at least from my point of view. And yeah, he can do the job there. And 25, he can still improve a little bit. Yeah, lower mid-table, no doubt he would be. Yeah, he'll be part of that. Again, I'm just clutching at straws, but I think this guy will be a regen. Yep. Sorry about that. Anyone below 22 here will be more than likely a regen. Jason Steele, I'm sure you know about him. Again, another English player. Right now he's at Tottenham, so he'll be playing in the Premier League, I would imagine, unless they got relegated, and they didn't. And he's actually been, well, okay, I thought he did good, but then I looked how many, like, his appearances he's played. But you can get him for really cheap. Like, he might want, I guess he would have wanted to leave Middlesbrough after those. Okay, he went in January after looking that. Okay, he might have wanted to leave to a bigger team, but he's not being a first-team player there, so I'm not sure about that. Even though he's got 17 reflexes, to me, kicking doesn't matter. Like, that's a useless, I wouldn't say it's useless, but I don't care if that's good or bad, in my opinion. I guess it depends if you utilise your keeper for kicking, or, yeah, if you rely on it. I think I'll check out this guy. I'll just go to 2 million, because these goalkeepers, they're really losing their touch. But again, I want to cater for people who are lower teams. Like, you would have to sign guys like this, to be honest. And he had one embarrassing game for FC Lorient, a 4.90 rating. Have you ever seen a rating lower than that? It's very rare that you see one. And he only conceded 4 goals. It's not like he conceded 10. But anyway, you can get him cheap, but anyone who had that kind of rating ever, I would never sign. Like, it shows in some situations that he will crumble under the pressure, but it's hard to know the situation. So I'll just move on now to anyone. I don't think there's much else. They're all going in the low. Okay, I think who's this guy? Kalinic, who's at Lazio. 17 reflexes, good strength. Decisions is 8. Nah. He would be a crap keeper, I would imagine. Decision's not good enough. Okay, some decent ratings, but I don't. Okay, one of the good, decent overall rating, or average rating, was at Hajduk. That doesn't really count. Then went to Lazio. This one, 10 games, so that doesn't really count either. He's, okay, by his average rating, he does a bit better than that it shows, like, that I would believe he does. But I wouldn't sign him. Decision's 8, that's too low for a keeper. You need a keeper with good decision making. So I think I'll round it off here with one of the other younger types. Another Dutch keeper. They've got heaps of decent quality ones. And he's only 23, so this guy could actually increase a lot more. And where does he start? See, look at this. He starts at Ajax, and then eventually Feyenoord would sign him on a free transfer. So if you can do that, if you're in that situation, to sign him on a free transfer, I would definitely suggest, because he's still got room to grow. And these 15s and the 14s, they could definitely push up like to one more, and he could be actually a really good keeper. So keep that in mind. Anyone else of note? 27, Simon Moore. Who's he? Okay, he's an English player I don't really know too much about. He seems okay. He's at Cardiff, still in the Premier League, but he seems more of a backup keeper, so he's not someone you would probably go for as a signings to spend money on. Next up, Alex Smithies. This guy's always had decent potential in Football Manager, but again, he doesn't seem that really amazing level. But he's playing Premier League football, so he must be of some quality, but I definitely would not sign him. Yeah, there's definitely options before. So yeah, we're going above 2 mil, or under 2 million, sorry. So the quality is just going to get more worse. So hopefully you enjoy this. Please leave your likes on what I should do with this series as well, like what other things I could show. Leave a like, please. I'll be definitely appreciated. And I'll see you guys next time.